Hello and welcome to Ring Takes here. Of course, I'm joined by Brian and Lewis. I'm Daniel Daly. This will be episode 76 here as we are making our Bash in Berlin picks. That's going to be happening on Saturday this weekend. And moving into the AEW All-In Recap, of course, you guys were in view of that and caught all the action from the past event in Wembley in London this weekend, and finally we're going to be talking about also the disappointing results in the final spot in the greatest of all time tag team bracket this week. Took a poll and I wasn't happy with the results, but we'll get into that soon enough. But let's get into our Bash in Berlin picks. We are here with this event taking place in Germany on Saturday. First event in Germany. Can't wait to see it. Of course, the WWE International Tour continues. We'll be seeing what happened in Germany. But let's get into our first match, of course. The Unholy Union, Alba Fire, Isla Dawn versus Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. Who do you guys have in this matchup for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships?
Okay, I guess I'll kick it off. I've been waiting for this match for the longest time because I think I'd said it a couple of episodes ago that it almost seems as though since the Unholy Union won the Women's Tag Team Championships that they only won them because the event was in Scotland. I mean, they've had a couple of title defenses on Raw, but they hadn't been featured. They almost seem like an afterthought. I know in the last couple of episodes of Raw and SmackDown, they've kind of been featured more. They've shown Bianca and Jade more interacting about how they want to get their titles back. So I'm definitely going Bianca and Jade on this one. The only way I would pick the Unholy Union is if they had already started teasing Bianca and Jade breaking up and that feud, and they haven't done any teases. I think they had a 6-woman tag on the last episode of SmackDown with Naomi. So they definitely still are showing unity. So it's for them to win. It's time for them to put the titles back on them because I get that event was in Scotland and you had all these Scottish wrestlers on the card, so you kind of had to have one of them win for the fans. But I feel as though Bianca and Jay shouldn't have lost the titles in the first place. I felt as though they should have still had them for a substantial amount of time. But but it is time now for them to retain. So I'm going Bianca and Jade.
This one's a little tricky. I don't know. It just feels, I don't know. Maybe it's just because it's the women's tag belts and they've been playing with hot potato for so long. But I don't know. Just in this Triple H era of booking, something's telling me that they're not going to win the titles. And like Brian said, I feel like I'd be more confident in that if there was hints or somebody kind of blaming the other or not getting along or something like that, which honestly I think Bianca and Jade should break up at this point just because they're both great single stars, and I think it's also time to kind of give Jade her own path at some point. I don't see how they benefit again from getting the tag titles again. I think that's my question is both of these two should probably be in the main event going after the women's title, respectively, either, on Raw or SmackDown, but they're both on SmackDown. So I guess they're just keeping them in the tag team for now. But I don't know. My gut is I really don't like Unholy Union. I think that's the big kicker too, but something's telling me they're not losing. And also, again, they're in Berlin, which is still Europe. And it's are they really going to lose? When we all know they won the titles just because, like Brian said, because they were in Scotland. And
exactly. Now, fuck all that. They had their moment. I'm just saying. So. No, we already had their moment. We don't need to do that again. They had their moment.
I know. I don't know. Something's just telling me that they're not going to lose. And also because they've been every title shot that or triple threat, whatever that's been going on, they've just been
finding ways to win.
Yeah, or screwing people over and stuff like that. So I don't know. Something's telling me that I'm going to keep it on them for some reason. Something's telling me that they're still going to hold on for some reason.
I'm going to have to agree with Lewis on this one because even though Unholy Union, they're still new, they feel fresh, they feel green at this moment, but it's like these women have a bunch of tag team experience in NXT UK, in NXT, and it's like to continue to build this division. I don't know if it's, and even I agree with Brian on this sense. I don't know if it's a good idea to have Bianca and Jade to continue chasing, especially as powerhouses, as talented they are. It's like we don't need them chasing, especially against this team, right? And the way that you build tag team is to get them wins over credibility teams. If they're able to beat Damage Control, if they're able to beat Jade and Bianca, that's how you're going to continue to get more success out of them. Love them or hate them, people are going to start watching them because they are winning these matches against these tag teams. And as we always talk about, the tag team division and the women's division is not there. It's here and there, and maybe they're trying to build it now. But I feel like this is a good way to try to build it until you actually build those tag teams that actually need the titles. And then I agree with Brian. I don't think Bianca and Jade should have lost the tag team titles. They should have just kept winning and keep powering, kind of like the Boston Hug Connection, Sasha Banks and Bayley. Keep winning, keep building the prestige of those tag teams until you build up a tag team that's credible to beat them. Didn't they lose to the Iconics at WrestleMania? Was that it?
Who?
Sasha and Bayley. I'm trying to remember.
When they were tag team champions,
I think so.
As a matter of fact, they did, and it was a multi-woman match. And that's because I think because the next day, that's when that rumor came out that they were bitching and complaining about the fact that they lost the tag team titles, and then like Sasha like went away for a little bit because of it. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. So just thinking about that, it's like you got to build up this tag team division, even though we don't like the Unholy Union. The best way to get them on TV is to get them reps, to beat credible tag teams. I'm going on Unholy Union. John and Ryan, who couldn't join us tonight, both picked Jade and Bianca. So everyone is tired of seeing this Unholy Union with the tag team title, besides me and Lewis. So we'll go on the limb there and pick
I'm tired of it, but just something not losing yet for some reason.
Yeah, I don't see them losing. But let's keep moving on here to our next match. CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre in a strap match. This has been building for basically the whole year so far. And we're finally getting another match, a credible match at SummerSlam, where Drew picked up the win. Who do you guys have in this increasing feud of Drew versus CM Punk in a strap match now?
You can go ahead, Lewis.
Logically, Drew should win this match easily, but for the sake of storytelling,
because he's 6'5", 270 pounds.
or actually, no, is he 6'5"? Maybe he's 6'5".
He's up there.
Hey, we almost weigh the same. Yeah, logically, Drew should win this and obliterate.
Yeah, John's gonna hit you up after that.
No, exactly. But for story's sake, and after the discussions we had about, this probably going till Bad Blood, specifically because this feud is just like gonna keep going, and for once, this is a feud that actually hasn't gotten too stale for me yet. Mm-hmm. Usually things like this drag on, or like, come on, get to it. And I feel like with what happened at WrestleMania, where it wasn't like Seth Rollins was kind of like in the middle of the whole thing, kind of screwed Punk. And SummerSlam, screwed Punk, him getting the win. Obviously, it wasn't a clean win, so I do see Punk winning this one. So that way, Drew's still gonna obsess over him, talk crap, and try and get into the match. And that's just where I see this going. So I'm going Punk on this one, and John's probably gonna be ecstatic that on Punk's side.
So this was actually kind of tough for me. I think initially it made sense to go CM Punk, like you said, Lewis, with the expectation that this feud is going to continue into Bad Blood. But I almost feel as though because it has to continue into Bad Blood, it almost makes sense for Punk to lose here again. Because again, the feud does not end until Punk gets the bracelet back. because the bracelet is the key part of this
the
this
title.
feud now. So I mean, if he comes
really,
out,
that's what's gonna drive him. You have my bracelet for another 3 months.
I mean,
Another 2 months.
he hasn't been using those words, but subliminally, that's pretty much
that's what he's been saying in the promo.
Like, he has a piece of my property. Like so, so I mean, that's pretty much been the focus. But it makes you think though that if he comes out on top in the strap match, okay, if he beats Drew and Drew's down, okay, common sense says take the bracelet back and then the feud's over, right?
Mm-hmm.
But so I am still gonna go with Punk because he did lose at SummerSlam and granted, even though he is still CM Punk, in this instance, I think it makes more sense for him to come out on top. Maybe he gets the win, and then tries to get the bracelet back, and then somehow Drew springs up and escapes and still has the bracelet, or I mean, it can go a variety of ways. But I'm going CM Punk.
All you guys that picked CM Punk, Ryan, John, Brian, and Lewis have picked CM Punk.
Here we go. Daniel wants to
Who am I going to pick? Who am I going to pick in this matchup? Am I going to make it unanimous? And the answer is hell no. I'm going with Drew McIntyre to win this one. Because even though I picked Drew to win, that doesn't mean the feud has to end. Drew can win by hook or by crook in this one. It's already a strap match. It's already going to be no disqualification.
But that's my thing, though. So why would Drew still be invested in this feud if he wins again?
Because he has the bracelet. It's about egging the person. It's about pushing the person. It's about making the person feel miserable. Hey, I beat you twice in a row and you couldn't beat me. That's what it's about for me. That's why I'm going with Drew.
I think I view it more of a score type thing, kind of like the whole Brock and Cody thing, or Brock
it's a rubber match. CM Punk doesn't need a win.
He's going to need one at some point.
Yeah. In the third match, I have him winning.
2-1. He's still. I don't know.
It keeps Drew. If you do it that way, it keeps Drew going after him. You keep your feud going through the winter, fall, Royal Rumble. This is going to continue until Seth Rollins is back, whenever he comes back. So this is going to continue in my mind. But I feel like the best way to do it, you can do the rubber match and give Punk the win, but it's like, nah, I don't want that. It's going to be more because I think it's just going to pick up. I think the intensity is going to pick up in the feud. People are saying Hell in a Cell. I'm like, I'll be fine even with a cage match at Bad Blood. I'll be fine with that.
On a First Blood match.
Or a First Blood match. So either that, like something's got to give. But it's just like I feel like Drew can continue this feud. He's been doing good. I like what the work Punk has been doing lately and everything. So it's just like, you could give CM Punk the 1-1, make it a rubber match, but it's like, I don't think CM Punk is in that dire straits where he needs a win, where he's going to lose credibility with the fans or anything like that.
I just see it as like, he's back, he's healthy. Yes, he lost his first match. This would legit be his second match, and you're having him meet again. I think that's just like where
I don't think he's going to lose steam.
I just feel like he needs some type of win at a PLE, which is honestly what he's only been fighting at PLEs right now. So
he doesn't fight weekly, so
exactly.
Yeah, so I can see it from that standpoint. I can understand
wrestling. He has weekly scraps.
I can understand wrestling.
He's big enough of a star to command. He's a big enough of a star to command that, though.
Is he?
He also don't want him to get hurt again.
He's wrestled 2 matches in what, 8-9 months? I'm just
nice
saying.
work.
I just want to piss off John.
We don't want to piss him off again, do we?
Yeah, I just want to piss off John. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Drew McIntyre because it's like I don't see Punk needed to win in this one. I know that's not the glamorous, sexy pick, but it's like going Drew McIntyre.
You just want to go against the grain.
Hey, if I'm right, it's a point for me.
Right with those opposing picks.
Hey.
Let's go to the tapes.
Hey. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I believe I'm up right now.
He's gonna be the odd man now. Oh no, I'm going the other way.
Hey, if everybody else is wrong and I'm right, It's a win for me. That's all I'm saying, Lewis.
It's lowly likely.
But let's keep going on here. We have the fabulous. That didn't work there. We have the fabulous Terror Twins going up against the Judgment Day of Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley. The Terror Twins versus the Judgment Day representatives Dominic Mysterio and Liv Morgan. This one has been picking up ever since SummerSlam, since the vile betrayal of Dominic Mysterio and Rhea Ripley, since Finn Balor has betrayed Damian Priest. What do you guys make of this matchup here? This love triangle square? What do you guys make of this matchup?
He said
Hexagon.
I don't know what to call it.
Okay, so I think we can all unanimously agree that we hate the Terror Twins name.
Yes.
I mean, it's completely ridiculous. But
I'd
moving
rather
on to
like
the
metal heads or something. Like, come on.
yeah, something. I don't know. But I'm going into this match, kind of like how Daniel said, broke down CM Punk and Drew McIntyre based upon size. I mean, you can definitely do the same thing with this match. You have Damian Priest. I don't know what his height is, but compared to Dominic Mysterio, he towers over him. So you're thinking he's right through him. And then Rhea Ripley. I mean, between her and Liv Morgan, we talking about this much. So you would think common sense says the Terror Twins run right through them. But you already know this match that this match is going to have a whole bunch of shenanigans. I mean, the only way that this match is even going to be fair is if the entire Judgment Day is involved. So they're all going to be in there. They're all going to get involved at one point. I'll say this: Terror Twins win the match, but they don't leave standing. I'll predict that they'll win the match, but the Judgment Day will be the one left standing over them.
See, for once, I think I'm gonna pull an Ann and disagree. I think this new Judgment Day needs a win, and they need to come out looking strong because it's been a back and forth. Damian and Rhea take them out. Next week, Judgment Day takes them two out. Because of the numbers game. I just feel like this new Judgment Day is kind of missing something. I mean, they look strong when they took both Rhea and Damian out, but I don't know. I think the imposing factor that Damian brought with him out of it kind of brings the group down a little bit. It's like, yeah, you got all these bodies, but it's like, where's your it factor, I guess, to the end. So I guess that's what they kind of need to prove with this match. Yeah, they're going to have their match, but we all know Judgment Day is going to get involved, because it's kind of getting back to how they used to do it, why they were so dominant at one point, why they had all the titles. So they kind of need to recreate that magic a bit. And I feel like this isn't going to be the last time that this is going to be that this fight is going to happen. So I say Judgment Day getting the win because they kind of need the win to look strong and, make an example of them. Maybe did Jay won the triple threat, right?
Yeah, he's in.
Something tells me that Jay's going to come out and help at some point, but I don't know if they've really hinted at it yet, but I see Judgment Day winning, but maybe some surprise like assistance to try and help them out. I don't know, but we'll see.
I'm going to go with the Judgment Day. As Lewis said, they need a win. This group needs to be credible, and if they're going to be on TV week to week, they can't be taking L's to the Terror Twins. The Terror Twins only formed because of the betrayal of the Judgment Day. They need to keep that group going because other than that, if they win, then it's like, what else are they doing? Are they just going through the group? Carlito, JD, Dominic, and then they eventually get to Finn, obviously there, but it's like you got to get to the final boss apparently. In this WWE age of booking, you have to go through the group. I mean, that's just the normal trajectory for it. Obviously, they're going to be going hell bent to protect Liv and try to keep her out of Rhea Ripley's sights. But those other guys like Dominic, JD, Carlito can be fed to Priest at some point. But I just feel like in order for this group to be more credible, because of course, when Rhea left the group, when I think we even had questions even all the way in the beginning when Edge got kicked out, even though they replaced him with Finn Balor, we were like, what are they doing with this? Finn Balor came in his own into the group and became a solid member of the group. Damian became more solid as we've seen over the years. But now that we've lost Rhea Ripley, we lost Damian Priest out that group. It's like we don't get rid of that group. Obviously, they're going to be a staple on Raw. They need to pick up a win there. By hook or by crook, numbers game, whatever the case may be, they need to get the win, in my opinion. I don't see them losing to Damian and Rhea right now. At least not yet. At least until Bad Bunny gets involved. I'm just saying he's on the way. He's on the phone. I'm just saying it's a numbers game. Who else is Damian gonna call? Hey Uso? That's only one more guy.
What's his name? The Puerto Rican wrestler Victor Colon or whatever.
I'm gonna get Primo out there and have a family reunion with Carlito. Where is Primo?
That's a good question. Where is Primo?
Probably in Puerto Rico wrestling for that association. I can't remember the association down there.
Yes, something council. Yeah, something council.
Yeah, it's something down there, but his family runs it. But yeah, man. I got the Judgment Day winning. I don't see Damian Priest and Terror Twins because it's like if they beat up the little guys already, what's the point?
Yeah,
that's the story. Like it's dead. So.
That's why. Yeah, but that's why they beat them. But they don't come up. But they don't leave the ring. They don't leave the ring. Like you can have them win and have Judgment Day get their heat back.
You gotta have the Judgment Day. You gotta have the Judgment Day continue to be. You gotta have the Judgment Day continue to be strong, and then Dom can walk around and get even more boos. Hey, I beat Damian Priest.
Yeah,
there's gonna be another feather in his legendary career already. But yeah, me and Lou's going Judgment Day. Brian going the Terror Twins. I'm just not picking them off the name. And the Judgment Day name has grown on me. I'm just saying. But let's continue to move on here. We have the WWE Championship between Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens. Who do you guys have in this one? This one's been building. They've been kind of teasing Kevin Owens betraying Cody Rhodes or showing signs of heel tendencies on the recent past SmackDowns. Who do you guys have in this one heading into the Bash in Berlin?
Cody. Simple as that. Come on, we know Kevin's not winning the title right now.
So Kevin Owens, who has been putting over Roman Reigns the past 4 years, who has been in the mid card, been trying to find something for him on SmackDown. They're saying he has no chance at winning this title. Zero. That's what you're saying to me. Zero.
All right. Go ahead.
I could see. I don't see him winning at all.
I tried, Kevin.
I see him turning heel.
Mm-hmm.
Dragging the feud on just because they're friends and everything, and we've been, Cody's suspicion, and he's like, "Hey, you're holding my title. Look, you bumped into me. Is what they're saying about you true? Even though we're friends?" And you could get another PLE out of this one. So, yes, KO loses, but I either see a heel turn at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Cody tries to praise him or whatever and like lift his hands up and then he gives him a stunner or whatever.
It's the AJ Styles versus Nakamura thing. I respect you.
See them winning and then a KO heel turn at the end. Mm-hmm. That's what I see.
So who's Cody's opponent again?
Kevin Owens.
Ice fighter.
Do you need me to put the graphic on Kevin Owens?
Not Roman Reigns?
No, it's not Roman Reigns.
Not The Rock?
Nope.
No, it's not. It's neither of those guys.
Not Randy Orton?
No, it's not Randy Orton.
Randy's on Raw now.
Oh, okay, so the title's not in jeopardy. Cody Rhodes.
That's it.
No, seriously though, this is another one of those like I said before when Cody first won the title. Like until he's facing one
Ryan,
of the three guys,
you don't believe in Solo?
The title's not in jeopardy. I mean, with everything that we went through as fans to get this title reign, unless he's facing one of the three guys I named, the title will not be in jeopardy. Even if the story is as good as it is right now with Kevin Owens. I mean, like Daniel mentioned, promo segment that they did on SmackDown on the Grayson Waller effect. I mean, I forgot about some of those betrayals. I totally forgot about when he turned on Kofi Kingston. All right, when I watched that, he did do that, huh? It's just so that was a nice little stroll down memory lane into some of the.
He was wrong though. Kofi didn't deserve that.
Which goes to show you when you look at all these betrayals, you just first thing comes to your mind, this man booking. But anyway, but anyway, I'll agree with Lewis that this match might be like the beginning of the end as far as Cody Rhodes and KO teaming up again. And I just feel as though like Lewis that Cody comes out on top, and then even though KO gives his all, and at first he said he didn't deserve the title match, realizes what he just lost, and then probably he's gonna Kevin Owens freak out moment as he's done in the past to the other superstars that were mentioned in that video. So so I'm definitely going Cody Rhodes as well.
Yeah, it's going to be 3 for 3 on this one. Cody Rhodes, as I said in the group chat that I tried to make with John, I don't see Cody losing unless it's Roman Reigns or The Rock. Those are the only two people that are defeating Cody Rhodes.
You don't put Randy Orton in there either?
I don't think so. I think Randy has a better shot at winning against Gunther, which we'll talk about in the next match, than he does against Cody Rhodes. I give him a higher percentage chance. Because I just don't think. We'll get into it, but I just don't see. I don't see anyone beating Cody right now. I don't see anyone beating Cody. Not now. But yeah, we all pick Cody Rhodes. It makes self. Kevin Owens is a good opponent, another good hand. Kind of similar to AJ Styles, where those guys are going to put on heck of a performance. Great match, but yeah, I'm going Cody Rhodes. It's not even a debate for me. It's going Cody Rhodes. Let's get into the main event on the night. Gunther versus Randy Orton for the World Heavyweight Championship. This has been building intensely over the past couple of weeks with the promos and the battles. Who do you guys have in this one? Randy Orton versus Gunther for the World Heavyweight title.
Yeah, okay. he doesn't mean that, folks. I mean, of course he doesn't. Of course he doesn't mean that.
What do you mean? I hear voices in my head. Come on.
Again, Daniel, you mentioned it before. I think it was you that just mentioned it about the booking of title reigns in the Triple H era. So it's very hard to go into the champion's first title defense with the mindset being that he might actually lose, because that's not the way it works in the Triple H era, because he believes in long-term storytelling and long title reigns. And the fact that Gunther has been built up the way that he's been built up for the last year and a half, 2 years, with the breaking with the Intercontinental title reign and winning King of the Ring and getting to this moment now, it almost makes too much sense for him not to lose. So I'm going Gunther, easy.
But one could also argue, look at Damien's title reign. What was that? 3 months?
Mm-hmm.
Who's title reign?
Damien.
Yeah, but he didn't lose. He didn't lose on the first title defense, though.
Okay, but he didn't get like a full year as a title reign or anything like that.
I was just speaking as far as like the first title defense goes.
I know, but look at the long. Yes, Gunther lengthy title reign. Sammy had a good 6 months with the IC title, maybe longer.
Until Triple H books a champion to win the title and then losing his first defense, it's hard to pick the champion and pick against the champion in the first defense.
You're gonna deny the 14-time world heavyweight champion Randy Orton any chance of winning this title?
And this is why I put Randy Orton on that list along with Rock and Roman Reigns, because I think it makes more sense because of the story. If there's anyone he's gonna knock off, I think he'd knock off Cody more than he would knock off Gunther.
Yeah, the Cody, just because there's history and mentorship, they could do it.
Exactly. Yes.
That story writes itself, right? Gunther and Cody. I mean, Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton. That writes itself with the history there. Yeah. But can I pick Randy Orton in this one?
My heart wants to say yes, but
I mean, the other stipulation is that if Randy wins, he gets put on Raw, and then Gunther goes to SmackDown. Is that correct?
I mean,
why would he have to go to SmackDown?
I guess technically that's how it would work. Or Gunther would stay on Raw, and Randy would just go on Raw.
I think I saw that on Wikipedia. So yeah, I think I saw that. But overall, can I pick Randy Orton to win his 15th world title?
Wow.
In Germany on the road. Can I do that?
Oh, I thought you said you were.
Hells no, I ain't doing that. Gunther just had this lengthy IC reign. He's built for this international stuff.
Yeah.
The crowd is going to be behind him 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a tough. As we've been saying with these title reigns, good credible first opponent.
It's like you kind of hope that they wouldn't be the first one because the first one is not.
It's not going to win, right?
It's not going to happen.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's like, yeah, you got a credible opponent, yeah, but at the same time, it's still the first title defense.
That's who said it? Was it Dave Meltzer or who was it? Somebody was talking about it. Predictability is good sometimes. It's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing, but yeah.
I'm gonna have to go Gunther as well.
Yeah, it sucks, but
he's too big and too strong right now to just. I mean, I don't think it would destroy him, but it would take away some. I don't know. It would destroy
him if he
a specific way where it wouldn't diminish him for him to lose the title if that's what they really wanted.
It would destroy him if he didn't have a character. If Gunther wasn't talking on the mic like he was and all this stuff, like if he was like a Jack Swagger, it would be terrible, right? Like if he lost the match. But if he did lose, it's like he has a credibility to now. He's able to talk on the mic. He's able to carry that segment, that feud or whatever. But again, I don't see Gunther losing until Brock Lesnar returns. I don't.
How close is Austria to Berlin?
I think
Austria and Germany are like as far as like neighboring. I think they are. I think they're neighboring countries.
Yeah, so I also see Germany. Gunther losing in Germany.
Yes, all those fans in Austria, yeah, they're coming right over. Yeah, they're all gonna be up in there.
Yeah.
It's only 7 hours.
It's a 7-hour drive, but obviously, that's probably what, maybe a 2 hour flight.
Well, I mean, he's going to have the home field advantage. All those people are coming in, but yeah, I don't see Gunther losing until Brock Lesnar comes back. That I think they're going to set up that matchup, that clash, because what was the Royal Rumble moment?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they can have Gunther lose right now. I just don't see it. But yeah, that's it for our picks for Bash in Berlin. I'm going the Unholy Union. Me and Lewis are going the Unholy Union. Everyone else is picking Jake and Bianca. You all are going CM Punk. I'm taking the real man's pick and going with Drew McIntyre to continue this. Me, Lewis, and John have Judgment Day. Brian and Ryan have Terror Twins. We all have Cody Rhodes retaining the WWE Championship, and we all have Gunther retaining his World Heavyweight Championship. That is our picks for Bash in Berlin. All right, let's get into our other weekend PLE that happened this past weekend. AEW All In. You guys saw it. You guys got the rundown of it. What are your takeaways from AEW All In London? With some matches there. Let's start off right off the top. How was the Swerve and Bryan Danielson match?
That was the match of the night. As far as the in-ring part of it, the emotion involved in it, the storytelling of it. I mean, having his family at ringside added something to that match that made it even bigger.
Was Breeze acting good?
But better than any shit that she did on Total Divas. I'm being serious. No, she played well, and the kids played their role well too. They legitimately were scared when they seen their dad bleeding and everything. That was legit.
Thank God there was no Brie mode.
Yeah, thank God. Yeah.
I always hated that.
That's WWE trademarked. She can't use it in AEW.
Yeah, but it started with Bryan Danielson's entrance coming out with that to the final countdown music and yeah, crowd responding to him, and then Swerve.
I did see that.
Yeah, I think Swerve he came out with the Houston rapper Bun B and the other guy who sings his theme song. So great entry. It was great entrances, and then the match itself. I mean, they really had me believing that this was going to be the end for Bryan Danielson. They really did play up to the whole that this is going to be the end, especially with the offense that Swerve got. I think he like hit the house call on him like 3 times in a row, and you're thinking along with his neck problems, and because they kept telling that story about how like he might need neck surgery soon, and you thought he was going to come out on top, but you know Bryan Danielson fought through and come out on top, and then obviously the crowd response to when he won it. Wasn't as I'll say this much. It was definitely wasn't as emotional as when he won the title 10 years ago at WrestleMania 30, but it still was emotional from the standpoint of his family being ringside and everything that they added to it. But it was definitely the match. It was definitely the match of the night, though.
Yeah, it was definitely a great match. Swerve looked so strong. Looked like he was killing Bryan for majority of the match. And, you know, they played into the underdog thing a lot, which is Daniel Bryan's, you know, which is his thing that he's always kind of done. But in AEW, he's been, you know, he's kind of been more aggressive and the technical wrestler and, you know, out wrestling. But in this instance,
the wrestling belt veteran.
In this match particularly, he was like more of like the veteran wrestler who's on his way out, you know, has wrestled so much that, you know, he has these injuries. Can he get the big one, you know, in AEW? And he did. And that's why it was like, you know, obviously having the family there, you know, made it very emotional. And, you know, that was like his driving force, you know, him looking at them in the middle of the match saying, I love you. Yeah, you know, you guys give me the strength and, you know, all that stuff. But, yeah, it didn't take away anything from Swerve's performance. Swerve looked amazing. Like I said in the past, I'm a huge Swerve guy, just to see what he's done. And, you know, him as a heel, it's like he plays it very well, but people are still behind him and cheer for him as if he were a babyface. You know, kind of
is he a heel right now? Is he being presented as a heel?
During that match, he was, you know, and you know, obviously with all the stuff he had with Hangman and everything, you know, he was the heel, you know. So I was honestly looking forward to what they would do as far as like a Swerve MJF match and what that would look like. But hopefully that'll come further down the line. But overall, great match, and I'm happy that, you know, he actually got to win the world championship, because he also deserves it too, because we also know that he's definitely one of the best, and he should definitely have the top prize at least at some point in this AEW run.
Yeah. And, so that was a good showing between those two men. I just saw that Swerve Strickland did extend his deal with AEW as well. So that's good for him. Go ahead, Brian.
And I was just gonna say, because I did catch a little bit about Dynamite before we logged on here. As a result, now for their next pay-per-view, which is in 2 weeks, All Out, Swerve is facing Hangman Page in a steel cage match. I think Hangman had a match against Tomohiro Ishii. Then Swerve came out, got in his face about like, yeah, because you got involved in my title match and all this other stuff, and they both agreed to a steel cage match. So hopefully, because I mean they've been referencing it since Hangman came back. I mean, Hangman's been obsessed with Swerve, so obsessed to the point it's like he loses to Owen Hart, he loses in the Gauntlet match, he's losing the side because he's losing blood and guts, and it's like because all he wants is because he's obsessed with Swerve. So it's like now we're finally getting it.
So we're revisiting that feud. Nice. As long as there's no spitting of blood or anything like that, we can.
That's probably going to happen in the steel cage match. it kind of has to, because it's like
it's just their thing. It's their thing now, I guess. Let's continue going on. How was the match between Will Ospreay and MJF for what is that? If I'm reading this correctly,
International title.
Is it the international title? Is it
It's the
American?
international title.
Is it?
I didn't really like the whole changing into the U. Yes, I get it was MJF's.
It's part of his gimmick.
Yeah, but he's not the American hero. He's like, I don't know why they kind of went that route. You know,
in his mind, he is as a heel, so that's why. So
yeah,
so it worked perfectly. But a character like his, he can get away with something like that.
No, I get it, but that's not really his gimmick. His gimmick, he's a heel and he's a prick. But like to be like, just because he has the international title, he has to change it to the American title. It was just like whatever. Match was great. Entrances were sick. You know, I liked Will Ospreay's whole Assassin's Creed theme coming in. Definitely, homage to all that stuff. And I will say, and I think we said in the chat, that Tiger Driver is deadly and probably should not be used anymore. Just because it's a very close call type move, but they are also professionals, so I guess they know how to do it properly. But from the looks of it, it does look very.
Will just sends them a couple extra euros in their paycheck, for taking the move.
But yeah, I wasn't sure if they were actually going to pull the trigger and actually give him back the title, which I thought was a kind of a surprise. But I was like, it makes sense. Like this is like their WrestleMania, so it would make sense for Will Ospreay to.
I'm looking at the card, and it looks like it was a good night for London fighters.
It definitely was. I know, and we'll talk about it. The return of Nigel McGuinness, which I'm not too familiar with all his. I know he was more big in like ROH and all that stuff, but seeing him actually go after seeing him on commentary for so long, I was like, wow, this man can still move. Might as well.
It's weird how he's been out of the ring because I did see on highlights that he was there, and I'm like, that's crazy. Like, why was he gone for so long? Like, it's been a while.
I mean, it's also like kind of the same thing WWE with Nick Aldis. Nick Aldis is
can still wrestle,
big wrestler type dude too. And when they pull that trigger, it'll be a pleasant surprise to everybody who's not familiar with him.
There are plans in place for Nick Aldis to eventually get in the ring, bro. He's still. I mean, at this point, the audience knows who he is. So if they're gonna pull the trigger now, so if they pull the trigger now, it'll be like, okay, cool. So they're not introducing him anymore. But as far as this match goes, well, Lewis hit the nail on the head as far as the entrances go. I mean, you mentioned Will Ospreay's Assassin's Creed entrance, MJF coming out looking like Apollo Creed with the top hat, or Mr. or Uncle Sam. So I thought that was a good look. The match in of itself, definitely reminiscent of their 1 hour classic match. Will Ospreay, obviously in Europe, he pretty much is God out there. As far as the crowd reactions go, both on Dynamite and on this show. It was a very good match. I do love how the Tiger Driver was kind of became psychologically a huge part of the match. Which I agree. I know a lot of people get on AEW for not being smart sometimes, but that definitely was something very smart, kind of using the Tiger Driver as kind of like the rallying cry for him to be able to beat MJF. And as Lewis says, if not done properly, that does look like it can cause serious damage. But other than that, it was a great match between the two. Like, you're never gonna get a bad match from Will Ospreay. And as a result, I also saw on Dynamite that now Ospreay, he's going to be the defending the international title at All Out against Pac. Pac won a triple threat match or something a couple of weeks ago on Dynamite to become the number one contender. Yes, it's the thing with AEW. They have so many of these number one contender matches. They do so many of them that you'll be forgetting that these guys are waiting in the wings. So, I mean, it's cool, but they do so many.
Something I do wish WWE did more. I wish they had those matches.
I did too.
They did it back in the day.
I mean, they're doing it more. I mean, they got the Intercontinental title tournament now. Yeah. I mean, I think every so often they're going to be, having these stake matches. I'll take it.
I'll take it on the pay-per-view. That's what I want, because that's what they used to do back in the day. I was just watching some old SmackDown, and it was John Cena versus Kurt Angle. for a number one contendership. I believe it was to go to WrestleMania. But yeah, just in general, yeah, MJF and Will Ospreay. You're not going to get a bad match between those two, especially MJF has picked up his work rate ever since winning the AEW title, right? Like he's been one of the good hands in the ring, and to go with Will Ospreay. Good to see those guys have a good match. Let's continue to move on with Mariah May becoming the new AEW Women's Championship. What can you guys tell me about that interesting turn of events?
Oh man, I mean, well, first of all, when I saw that this was the second match on the card, I mean, I kind of was disappointed because I was just thinking, like I said, this is literally the best story you have going right now for your company. It's your top story.
Is it?
I said last week, no, it is.
Oh,
It was bigger than Swerve and Bryan's. It was bigger than MJF and Ospreay. This is their actual. This is an actual story. The one thing that John and other fans bitch and complain about AEW doesn't do enough of. They don't do any storytelling. This is actually their first very good.
How did they feel about it if it's second on the card?
Yeah, exactly. That's why I was confused at first. It's like, it's your best story. Why is it number 2 on the card? But it ended up being one. Actually, ended up being one of the. I think it was the second longest or the longest match of the night. This was also another great back and forth match. I love the ending because they kind of told the story of how Tony wanted to finish her off, but like something inside couldn't bring her to do it because she still looks at her as her protege, and it was good. It was good storytelling. And then Mariah May took advantage of it at the end and ended up winning the title. I'm interested to see who's going to be her first challenger, who's going to be the people that come at her. I think I saw a video on AEW's Twitter, Instagram page of like Toni Storm. Like they were trying to interview her after the match, and obviously she's distraught. She's walking off. So I wonder if this is going to be her swan song for the time being to pretty much rest, recuperate, and then come back. Because remember she was champion for, I think, almost seemed like almost a whole year. Yeah. It's like she was champ for a while, but especially and she had the best gimmick as far as the women go. So it's going to be very, very interesting. But other than that, it was a good match.
Yeah, no, I thought this match was hands down way better than Britt and Mercedes. It honestly should have been. It should have been. Yes.
When we talk about Britt, we'll talk about Britt and Mercedes when we get to that.
I was going to ask about that, but let's.
It should have been reversed. Mercedes and Britt should have been in that spot, and then Tony and Mariah May.
Considering it's the TBS title, it should be second on the card. That's how I'm looking at it.
But it's because they tried to build it up like it was a big feud. But this feud between Mariah May and Toni Storm was perfect storytelling. It was great in the sense of all the factors that played in. Her bringing her under her wing, helping her, elevating her, having her win the Owen Hart Classic tournament and everything, and for her to just turn on her in such a brutal fashion and everything. And then, they built it up properly in the fact that, they had them attack each other week to week, trying to get back. Why did you do it? This, and it wasn't like weak explanations either. It was just like, I did what I had to do. I learned from her. She helped me. And you know what? When it was time, I took my shot, and that's what she did. And, I've been a huge Toni Storm fan ever since she started this whole Timeless Toni Storm, just because it's been flawless. And I was very curious to see, just because she was so over, who was actually going to take the title off of her, because, at that point we didn't have Mercedes or Britt or whoever. It was just kind of just her, and she was just she was knocking it out of the park with every defense. But this was a great story, and the fact that it was just like, can you really take out this person who you brought up, helped build up, and then they betrayed you? And
she should have.
With the shoe, made you bleed like profusely and everything. It was just like a great storytelling. I thought it was a great match, and for her to legit beat her with her own move was like, cake. I did the only spot I didn't like.
You mean she stole her finisher?
Yeah. The only spot I didn't get. Why would she smack her own mother? That was the only.
I did see that. I was.
No. See,
her mother's in the front row, and then instead of just.
I think I understand that. No, because I think there was a point during the match where I think like the fans were actually starting to get behind her. Because she is from, I think she's from that area, and
she's from London. Yeah.
Oh, so she wanted more heat.
Either the fans were trying to get behind her, or it was already a planned spot so the fans wouldn't get behind her. Because she was the heel in the match, and I mean, smacking your mother. I mean, if you want to get heat for something, smacking your own mom will get you.
It's like heat. Beating up John Cena's father heel-ish.
Yeah.
That's how we're going to get over.
Beat up the parents, or Dominic telling his mom to shut the hell up.
No, but we do have Mariah May becoming the new AEW Women's Champion. Good homecoming for her. Again, another good night for the Brits. But let's get into the match that we just kind of hinted at, the TBS World Championship. Mercedes Moné versus Britt Baker. Why was this such a letdown to you guys? Because again, what did I say? Hold on. What did I say before when Mercedes Moné came in? I said this was the match that needed to happen because I felt like this could save the women's division. That was long ago. But then we saw the resurgence of Toni Storm. Mariah May has come back. Jamie Hayter has come back, right? We've on the pre-show. That's what you guys told me. So there's definitely some influx of progressing storylines that are doing well right now. And I was like, this one could save the women's division. It looks like the women's division has been doing okay. And I thought this was going to bring it to a new level. But why was this a letdown? I thought this was going to be gold. I thought it was going to be gold.
See, Daniel, here's the thing. I don't think it was necessarily a letdown. I just think people's expectations were too fucking high for the match. Like people, like you said, when she signed, that's the match everybody was penciling in. They wanted to see her and Britt, her and Britt. And I think because of that, like the match had to be like damn near perfect. And because they wrestle different styles. When I watched it, I looked at it as like, okay, this is coming off like a feel out match to me. And when I say that, I always go back to John Cena and AJ Styles. The very first match they had a match, I think it was like a Money in the Bank or something. And it wasn't as good as the next two matches that they had, because the next two matches they had were match of the year candidate type matches. And I will always go back to them because you watch that match and you see, okay, you can clearly see they're trying to build chemistry. They're trying to feel each other out. What works, what doesn't, what works, what doesn't work. And that's definitely what I saw from Britt and Mercedes. I think people went into that match expecting they were going to get like Charlotte Flair versus Becky Lynch or something, or get like a Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart Iron Man match type of result. People's expectations were just too damn high.
So are you saying this is just Trish Stratus versus Becky Lynch, and we just have to wait until they get into a steel cage to get a banger?
I'm just saying. I just know for a fact that if they run this back, it's going to be 10 times as better, and they're going to have the match that everybody expected. I just think everyone's expectations were too high for it, and. For me, like I said, it was a fill out. It was a very good match. Mercedes won clean, and I just think people's expectations were just too high for it.
Yeah, I think for me it was just like the chemistry wasn't really there. This honestly kind of felt like a Drew Karrion Cross match, like that match where you were like, okay, this should be a banger. These two dudes are gonna kill each other, blah blah blah, and it was just like, that's it. That's all you got. Okay.
Like Gunther versus Drew, where you thought it was going to be two Titans going at each other, and just
and it was just like
mesh.
And that's the thing. It's like, I don't know. Maybe it is true that, I don't know, this Monet persona CEO. I don't know. There's something also like with her presentation as well here now. It was like her with the dancing and everything is not. I don't know.
The song is not good. I'll say that.
Yeah, the song.
That song is a banger. I work out to it.
I don't know.
Future.
And see, I was one that I had high hopes for Mercedes and AEW just to, her just going out and doing her own thing. But like this was just kind of like, where do we go from here now? It's like, I don't know.
That's unfortunate.
I don't know if it was a Brit thing, if it was her thing, or maybe it's just chemistry just wasn't there. Or like Brian said, it was just like feeling each other out. Maybe we'll do it, but it's like if you're at this big of a stage, it shouldn't be feeling out. It should be like deliver, high action, high pace, blah blah blah. It's like
so it wasn't Bianca.
Maybe we should have had her wrestle a little bit more on TV. But. Yeah,
it wasn't that.
I guess.
It wasn't
and I know, like some fans, like kind of like made the excuse that like, oh, this is Brit's first. This is Brit's first pay-per-view match in like a year and a half or some change.
Yeah.
And my whole thing was, but it's not like she wasn't wrestling on Dynamite leading up to this match. I mean, she had a couple of matches on Dynamite to kind of work through the ring rust, and she's been doing it long enough where that shouldn't really be an excuse for it. I just think that they work different, they wrestle different styles, and it just wasn't a good mix. And like I said, if they run it back again, I know the match will be 10 times as better, and they'll give everybody what they expected.
I'm just disappointed in that because I thought that match was going to be one of the top maybe feuds, and to get a lackluster match like that from what you guys are kind of saying is just like, yeah, that's kind of tough. Well, let's keep moving on here. First of all, let me ask about the four-way London ladder match. How did that work? How did they get that many men in one ladder match?
Bro, there were 12 motherfuckers in that match, man. It kicked off the show. From that standpoint, that was kind of the right thing to do because it was essentially what every fucking multi-man ladder match in AEW is. It's a damn car crash. I mean, spot after spot after spot. I mean, you could think of the Bang Bang Gang doing this, or I think it was you could talk about Claudio Castagnoli and his swinging spot. I mean, it pretty much was. It was just a car crash. I mean, they told this. They continued to tell this story between Christian and Killswitch Luchasaurus, which seems like it's been going on forever. Like when is Killswitch going to finally pull the trigger and finally to turn on Christian Cage? I believe it was Pac and Wheeler Yuta and Claudio that came out on top.
Yeah, the black pool.
But it was your typical AEW car crash match. I mean, if you like matches that have the multiple spots with the athleticism and the destruction, then this was the match for you.
Let's keep moving on here. How about Hook regaining the FTW title over Chris Jericho?
Okay. This match frustrated me, and I think I said, and Daniel, I think I said it off the air, but now I can say it now that we're recording. I am getting sick and tired of the fucking disrespect towards Chris Jericho. Okay, this man. Okay, I'm tired of the disrespect, and I'm sick of people trying to make it a trend now to be walking out of the arena during his matches just because they want to push this agenda of him retiring. Chris Jericho is needed in that company. Chris Jericho is still the highest rated segment for that company. They need Chris Jericho. AEW needs Chris Jericho. He is one of 4 crossover stars that are signed to that roster right now. So y'all need to show this man the respect he's due, because that match with Hook, the match wasn't even that bad. Honestly, the match to me came off the same way the last time they had the first FTW title match that they had. It came off like that. And I love the finish with Taz getting involved and Taz putting the Taz mission on Brian Keith while Hook is in the ring putting it on Jericho. I love that spot, kind of like father and son. But it was a good match. but people really need to stop with the disrespect to
As I
Chris Jericho.
said, the issue with Chris Jericho is he wasn't missed. That's the issue with Chris Jericho. He hasn't gone away long enough to be missed in a way that wants to see him on TV every week.
Because
CM Punk only worked for 7 years. I'm not saying Chris Jericho needs to do that, but have a 3-month spell where you're not around. He's on all the time, literally all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's a reason for that. There's a reason for that, Daniel.
Okay, but that's not always.
And I'm somebody who I'm still a huge Chris Jericho fan. I love the stuff that he's done in AEW. I'm just not a fan of this iteration.
Oh, you don't like the learning tree, Chris Jericho?
I do not like the learning tree. It's very cringy, and I know that's kind of the point. It's the point of it.
Every time he says "hi, guys," I start dying now.
No. It's to me, it's kind of a lazy iterate. I don't know. I didn't like the Wizard. I don't like this one.
You don't like the Ocho?
I love the Le Champion. I thought that shit was hilarious. I thought that shit was hilarious. The Ocho, made sense with him winning the title or whatever, but the learning tree is just like, it's not doing it for me. But I think Dan is right. I think Jericho is still needed because he's still a legend. He can still go, but maybe not week to week to week to week to week, where it's like, hey, okay, you just lost the title. Maybe give us like a month or two, then come back. You can feud and elevate somebody, whatever. But I just don't like the learning tree. And Big Bill should just be a big star on his own. I don't know why he's.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, bro. It's like
he's huge. He looks
like he
great.
needs somebody to be successful.
He's in shape.
You have it.
He does.
Like, it's like, dude. The only time it's like you can't stand up on your own. You only stand up.
Time out. We're talking about Big Cass.
Yes.
Yes,
Big
we're
Bill?
talking about Cass. Yes.
Really? Timberland jean wearing Big Bill?
Yep.
Yes. Like, bro.
Held on froze over.
You should be a top guy in every promotion that you go to. Like, you got the size, you got the look. Why do you need somebody by you to be successful?
He's 7 foot tall with
on the mic.
Six-pack. With the 6-pack, like he should be killing it right now.
I don't know, man. Big Cass. This is the guy that got run out of WWE. Big Cass.
Hey, he had a problem back then. Leave him alone.
He didn't get ran now. He fucked his own. He's fucked his own self over.
He's grown.
Didn't nobody tell you to beat up? Didn't nobody tell you to beat up the midget Daniel Bryan in that segment? All right, that's why they got rid of you. They told you, hey, don't beat up the midget Daniel Bryan when you're in this segment, and you went out and did it anyway. That's what happened.
Oh yeah, didn't he like kick him or some shit?
Yeah, no. The segment, the whole point of the segment was he wasn't supposed to get physical with him, but he still did.
Let's get over some other things here. The Young Bucks retained the AEW Tag Team Championship.
Okay, I'm gonna say
I didn't care for this match at all.
I didn't care for it either. But when I watched the match, the only thing I thought of is, the Young Bucks really do feel like they're phoning it in right now at this point, because like it almost seems as though that they don't care. And I don't know if that's a part of the character, the character now of being EVPs, but it could. As a matter of fact, it could be, because they are heels right now, so their tag team matches can't be as exciting as they used to be. So maybe that might be a part of the gimmick now. But I haven't really cared for their matches so far. I mean, FTR was involved again. It's like how many times we're gonna get Bucks and FTR? Yes, it always. Don't get me wrong. It delivers every time, but it's just like how many times can you keep going back to them, even with
the well.
I mean, I get it. It always delivers, but your roster is too deep with tag teams right now for you to keep going back to.
So you have issue with the Young Bucks and FTR, but can't see the issue with Chris Jericho.
Because I already explained. I'm talking about from a business standpoint.
I'm just saying,
Chris Jericho draws ratings. They need
if the Young Bucks and FTR, if the FTR and Young Bucks well is drying up, then that Chris Jericho well is not even a well anymore.
Like you said, he's on almost every week. Why? Because they need him.
Let's keep moving on here. Christian Cage won a gauntlet match to become the number one contender for AEW World Championship match. Really?
This was the head scratcher for me, and
So other people in this match:
Okada,
Cassidy, Nigel McGuinness, Kyle O'Reilly, Zack Sabre Jr., Roderick Strong, Mark Briscoe, Hangman Page, Jeff Jarrett, AEW debut Ricochet, Killswitch, and Christian Cage.
Aside from the finish, this was the second best match of the night. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It was a great showing. I liked everybody who was in it, even Jeff Jarrett, even though I don't really care for him. But even though he's kind of doing good work now, but the Christian Cage
he's over there. They love him over there in Europe.
Yeah. I love Christian Cage. I think he's doing great work as a heel. I just hey, maybe this is just like what we were just discussing with WWE. Maybe this is just the first feud for Daniel Bryan, and it'll just be a win for him.
Is he going to talk about how Bryan Danielson is a terrible father?
Well, I think they're also mentioning that
the story writes itself, Lewis.
Christian could also talk about how Daniel Bryan's father is dead. So there you go. Yeah, it is writing it itself. So
I think he is too.
Yeah,
it's going to happen. It's going to happen.
I kind of get the reasoning, but I felt like there was enough talent in this match that somebody else easily could have taken that spot. That probably could have used him more than Christian. So I don't know. Especially on that big of a stage, I feel like could have had Ricochet gone up. Obviously you got the WWE history there. You could have had Roderick Strong, heel, Jay Briscoe, Ring of Honor, throw that into the mix. You just had so much, and you go Christian Cage. It's like, really? I was kind of hoping Luchasaurus is finally going to turn on him. Still not happening. I don't get that whole angle still, or when that's what it's going to take for him to actually implode and turn on him, but who knows?
Yeah, they've been telling that story. I was telling Dana, they've been telling that story with Christian and Killswitch Luchasaurus for months now. Yeah, almost a year, and like it hasn't gone anywhere.
Yeah. But it was ever since the whole Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus.
Yeah, exactly. Since that breakup, and
so it's been like 2 years.
It's been 2 years. But
let me
just talk about the gauntlet match real quick. The highlight for me, obviously, Lewis, you mentioned him though, Nigel McGuinness, coming out there and still showing people that he can still go in the ring, doing some of his famous spots that he used to do with Ring of Honor. All I know is that the whole time he was in the ring, I was on Wrestling Inc. and I was in their group chat for the pay-per-view, and I was just asking people, what happened to Nigel? Why did Nigel stop wrestling? Why did Nigel stop wrestling? And everybody kept saying it was because he got a condition. It's hepatitis. He got that condition. And then I think he ended up retiring. And then I'm thinking, well, does he still have that condition, or then what's going on? What allows him to still be in the ring? Because if he can still go, put him in the feud with Bryan Danielson right now. Because I'm the only one on here. Because I'm the only one on here that watches Collision. Whenever Bryan Danielson is involved, Nigel McGuinness goes in with Bryan Danielson. He talks mad shit about Bryan Danielson, calling him,
he should be home with his kids.
His kids, calling him a bad person. So if anything, go back to that feud from Ring of Honor. If Nigel McGuinness can still go. Other than that, obviously
that's his first wrestling match since 2011.
Wow.
Hey, still looks in great shape though.
Crazy. And then obviously Ricochet, his debut. I think it was funny because I think like he hit the same move that he hit that in when he debuted in NXT, that shooting star springboard. It was the same move. Same movie hit when they debuted, so I guess that's like his welcome to the company move. Then wherever he goes now, because it is impressive. But as great as the match was, like Lewis, don't understand this finish. Why? Why are we going back? I mean, if the idea is you want to give Brian a credible heel to go up against in the first title defense, okay. But you already went down that road with Swerve, and with Swerve, it made more sense because Swerve and Christian actually had a story because they were a tag team in the first All In, and then they lost, and they had a story, so it made sense. With this, I mean, you're just going doing the same thing over again, and again, your roster is too deep to be going in that direction. I mean, I actually thought that Hangman was going to come out on top in that match.
Yeah.
I mean, it made sense.
Yeah, wouldn't that have created more intrigue towards the end of the night with the Bryan Danielson Swerve Strickland match? It would have created a little bit more intrigue. AEW. Let's get into Darby Allin and Jack Perry. I saw highlights of this match, and
this match. Okay. Oh, see now, while this match was on, I was having internet connection issues with the site I was watching the match on, and so a lot of this match was through a messed up internet connection with me, but the match was short. Like it didn't even seem like it went that long. Like all I recall is like maybe like six or 7 minutes into the match, Jack tied up Darby's hand with the tape, and then he tied up his legs, and and then he threw him off the stage through the table. And then I think after that he put him in the casket, and then Darby tried to act like he was the Undertaker and tried to like sit up while being in the body bag. He got put in the body bag, then put in the casket, and he tried to sit up in the body bag. Then Jack hit him with a knee, and then they closed the casket, and the match was over. And I was like, wow. I'm like, and this was the match right before the main event. So I'm thinking, wow, this feud has actually been a lot more personal. So I thought things would things would be a lot more like serious. I mean. Darby did set him on fire in that Anarchy in the Arena match. So I thought there was going to be a lot more. I thought there was going to be a lot more like crazy ass spots. I mean, for God's sakes, Darby came out. He had thumbtacks in his damn face. I'm like this dude is crazy. I'm like, this little dude is crazy. And then obviously the match was over. I think the Young Bucks came out with that gas can, and they were going to set the casket on fire. But then, who comes to Darby's rescue? Sting! And he makes a guest appearance, which is always nice. And they teased on Dynamite in the opening segment that John Moxley who's
called them out.
Yeah, John Moxley, who's been off for months. I think like he had called out Darby Allin saying he wanted to speak with him. So I don't know if he wants to form a new group, or he did tell Tony Schiavone in the ring though that like this is not your company anymore. Yeah. So now people are kind of like trying to decipher what that means. Some people automatically jump and say Shane McMahon, and I'm God. No, but that match came off short. Yeah, it was a short match. It was a short match. It wasn't as grotesque as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like Darby has already done this coffin match too many times that I was like, what else is he going to do in this match? And the only spot that I really remember was the whole Jack Perry bringing out the glass. But even that spot wasn't that like great. The only other spot I saw was when Darby went for a suicide dive and went right into the coffin. But other than that, I didn't like the whole tying up his hands and feet. And I was like, this is kind of dumb because, obviously he won't be able to walk and everything. And then, so I was kind of happy that it ended so quick because I was just like, I was not looking forward to a long ass match of all that. And it really wasn't. Yeah. They didn't do much. So, I mean, whatever. It is what it is.
Yeah, I totally forgot about that glass spot. Because right after we poured the glass out, didn't some of the fans start chanting CM Punk, and then they got drowned out immediately?
Yeah.
It's a bad setup. Leave the glass alone, Jack Perry. Just leave it alone. Move on. Find something else.
Oh, cry me a river. Oh, cry me a river.
find something else. But yeah, that will do it for our AEW recap, all in recap. Thank you guys for doing that. I gotta catch one of the shows. Maybe I'll watch it on one of these paid sites, paying pay-per-view sites.
And I'm gonna just say this. I mean, like I said, All In had some good, had some bad. It was a very solid show for me.
Mhm.
But AEW, you guys need to stop with the having All Out a week or 2 weeks after All In. If All In is your WrestleMania, you don't need to be having another show 2 weeks later, another pay-per-view 2 weeks later.
Or how about they just schedule it? How about they just schedule it? I know Wimbledon happens and they can't schedule it there. Schedule it before Wimbledon.
The only reason why they schedule it is because they want to have it on a Labor Day weekend, because obviously that's a part of the weekend to have the show. But it's just like, yo, dude, you guys don't own Labor Day weekend. Not WWE doesn't even own Labor Day weekend. I mean, Labor Day weekend, everybody's chilling, going to cookouts, because it's really like the last weekend of the summer, really, when you really think about it. I mean, that's how I look at it. After Labor Day, summer is over for me.
Yeah, pretty much. Let me see if I can find it here. But yeah, that will do it for our AEW All In. Damn it. That will do it for our All In recap. Before we go, we talked last week about the greatest of all time tag team bracket. And we were getting into that. And hold on, I'm trying to find it because I was disgusted. Why can't I find it? It was here, and now it's gone. Either way, we had our tag team bracket. We had the Legion of Doom, Edge and Christian, the Hardys, the Dudleys, the New Day, the Usos, and we were looking for a final team in the bracket. And it came down to Harlem Heat and the Hart Foundation. What am I doing here? There we go. And it came down to the Harlem Heat and the Hart Foundation. I was disappointed by the results because we had a vote. We put a vote out there. And it was overwhelmingly the Hart Foundation. And I was so disappointed with that. But that's the final team in the GO bracket. What do you guys think about that? The Hart Foundation over Harlem Heat.
It is disappointing, but I'll say this much. I mean, it's not like, I mean, you couldn't really go wrong with either one. If you could. Yes, you could.
I'll stop right there, Brian. First of all, Harlem Heat is a 10-time tag team championship. WCW champions, tag team champions.
Do we really count WCW championship title reigns?
What are we doing?
I mean, compare. I'm saying, compared.
Not just WWE.
I'm saying, compared to all the other teams, all the other ones have WWE title reigns. Is that not fair to say?
That's fine, but the Hart Foundation has 2 tag team title reigns. 2.
I know. Hey, I was somebody who's
the reasonings I've got was because they were wrestling the Legion of Doom, that they made Pink cool. I'm like, what? They have never won PWI Rust Tag Team of the Year. Never. You want to know how many times Harlem Heat has won it? Twice. That has to stand for something. All of that is just thrown out the window.
Doesn't this bring up a certain conversation about a certain champion who would not even be considered?
Brock is not
for a certain bracket, but all his accolades are just thrown out the window for whatever reason, or because they didn't like the long reigns, and
Brock is not,
but would rather have a racist in the bracket.
By the way, that son of a bitch was out here today. And my coworker, the independent professional wrestler, he actually went to go see him. I saw his photos on Instagram before we logged on. I was like, son of a bitch, you actually went to go see him.
I just want somebody to snatch his damn bandana off and show that fake hair that's hanging on the back of his head because.
What do you want? Hulk Hogan to start wearing dad hats?
You can't tell me that Hulk Hogan is not bald as Stone Cold Steve Austin right now.
What do you want? You want him to start wearing dad hats? Is that what you want?
I
Hulk
want him
Hogan
to wear nothing. How about that?
Yeah, it's not really his hair. Those are extensions, man.
Oh man. But yes, because of votes to TikTok and Facebook, people have picked the Hart Foundation. Even my own brother picked the Hart Foundation over Harlem Heat, and that hurt the most. I'm like,
so that's the thing, though, and I think with the Hart Foundation, it's not about the title reigns; it's the significance of the group. And obviously, you have Bret Hart, who is he's in at least almost everyone's top 5, not mine, but a lot of people's top 5. So. Mm-hmm. When you have a tag team, obviously they're still going to consider him a part of that as well. So I'm not surprised by it, but it is what it is.
I'm just disappointed. That's all I'm going to say. Harlem Heat had Sister Sherry. They had the music.
Disappointed, doesn't it, Daniel?
They had the intro. They had the music.
So you know what it is, Daniel? It's not. A lot of those people who did that survey, I bet you none of them watched WCW back in the day, or probably weren't fans of WCW back in the day, because, like Lewis mentioned, like Lewis, you threw shade on the fact that it was WCW tag team title reigns. Like, should we take them seriously? That goes to show that maybe people didn't really care for that era of WCW when Harlem Heat was a tag team champion. Now, when Booker T broke out and became Booker T there. That's when.
Well, that's the thing. A lot of people wouldn't even know about them if they weren't familiar with Booker T. Like, oh, he was actually in a tag team. Like, I would have never been able to tell you how many title reigns Harlem Heat had because I wasn't familiar with it. But
I'm just disappointed, man. You want to know who I blame? Triple H. Because if Triple H would have just gave Booker T that WrestleMania win, we wouldn't be here right now.
They were like, no.
Booker T would have been world heavyweight champion in the right time, in the right place, ending the Triple H reign of terror. And here we are. But yeah, we got the Hart Foundation as the final team in the tag team GOAT bracket. We'll pick up with that. We'll figure out how to organize that. Maybe do a random drawing for the bracket, I'm thinking. But yeah, that will do it for this episode. Bash in Berlin this Saturday. No Mercy NXT is on Sunday, so I'll try to watch that as well. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you guys for joining me and joining us, actually. And don't forget to always kick out on 2, keep fighting, and until next time.
1, 2.